Hello everyone, this is a video kind of like the Templin Institute where they did fleet, a task force. You have to hunt down rebels. They use the task force 89 was for Round Hoth area. A couple other people did it. That was 11 months ago, which I did my own, but I never recorded it. But I decided to do 3 different waves. So it would be when the star stores were actually being used with vendors. And that's where stuff was starting to be almost coming Empire. Another thing about this fleet, that these ships right here will be V-Wings instead of what they are. I don't have any V-Wings. They never came out with Star Wars Armada. I will only be using Star Wars Armada stuff because it's a mix with Legends and Canon. So one Star Destroyer at a ISD 1, because that's first produced, and then I would have Venator 2s, 2 of them. Each one would hold Arc 170s, 3 of them, and then I'm not sure how much squadrons the Star Destroyer can hold, but if I would do it, it would be just mostly bombers. If it only can hold, of course you can't say like, okay, you can't get as much reinforcements because the clones are kind of getting outdated. Sure, you might have reinforcements of stormtroopers or AK troopers or whatever they called them in the Bad Batch, but your resources are kind of thin on the Clone Wars era stuff, though. So stuff is getting kind of outdated and everything else. So this is what that fleet would be. But if the Star Destroyer can only hold 4 squadrons, that's what it would be. 2 V-Wings and then 2 bombers. And then I would do, and if it only can hold up to 2 squadrons, obviously I would probably 3 to 2 squadrons. It would be a 1 V-Wing, 2 bombers, etc. But that fleet right there would be for heavy hitters, frontal engagement. This, because the CIS is still around, so not all droids had a shutdown scenario. This is so you're still dealing with capital ships, but not as many. And the rebels are not really good because they don't really have any capital ships. They only have like CR-90s, transports, and whatever they can steal. For the Venators, I would put some, but not like a squadron, maybe a couple of landing craft vehicles in there, just to keep, just in case they gotta make a quick landing. This fleet right here is my resupply ships. The small one here is to protect the supply ship that's kind of unarmed. I don't know if they arm it when the Empire took over, or they just destroyed it immediately, or retired it, whatever. But that would be my resupply ship. If I could get any extra clones, that's what they would come in. This fleet right here, of course, these things are the wings right here. This is my invasion fleet. So this thing could land on the ground, and then those 2 can support it as it's landing. And that would just come with, so if it can't land, obviously it can stay in atmosphere, and it'll have a bunch of landing crash shuttle, or landing shuttles, and stormtroopers or clones, stuff like that. this right here would be my recon fleet. So there would be three light cruisers and one squadron of V-wings, and then this would be one fleet, 3 light cruisers. This would be another fleet for those light cruisers, and they would obviously be together, but they would be scouting ahead, doing what they need to do. And I do have to say again, the Venators are only allowed to carry the ARC 170s because they're big and they're just good. They need the crew and everything else. They're just big enough where they need to stay in the Venators at all times. They can go in the acclimator, but it's not it's more for a ground invasion style fleet. There's not much in this task force because it's starting to phase out Clone War tech slowly. This is early warfare, so this is just turning to the Republic, to the Empire. I will do another video on the medium side of Empire, so this is where the next one will be like the Empire has Star Destroyers instead of 2 Venators and Star Destroyer, it would be 3 Star Destroyers with a bigger variety of options. The acclimator, the small transport ships right here, those 2 ships, all 3 of these, like those would be pretty much not optional. They did have it where you could get a little greedy. Task Force 89 was a little too greedy what he did. He did a little too greedy on that. He was like, let's not be too greedy, but let's be greedy. And he asked for all these things that you cannot get. Like Krennic, he was an Emerald, so he got a small ship. I get you can do like small things, but you might be able to refit a Star Destroyer, but that's about it. You couldn't really do much else. You could probably get in a squadron of TIE Defenders if there was any available, but most likely not. And then but yeah, I guess this would be the fleet, and that would be it pretty much. So I'll just go over the fleet slowly, get a little better angle. Each one would hold 1 squadron light cruiser, just in case they have to engage. Let's say CIS forces, they have to engage the fleet, so they'll just do that. But then they'll obviously call the Star Destroyer and Venators up. Again, the Rebels are not that good right now on ships, so it's not that big of a deal right now. But the next one is where the CIS is no longer, and then it goes to, and it was around Hoth we're going to do, the Battle of Hoth. Well, I would do a fleet. So interdictors will be available. Doritos, which is I called it a Dorito. It's this. And then a Gladiator, Raider, Victory. If I would do this fleet a little different, I know Victory 1s were not a big thing. They only made like 2 at the end of the Clone Wars and 1 Star Destroyer, but this is a little after that, the cleanup after that. So if I would change 1 ship, It would be the one of the Venators to a Victory 1. So it's more of a combat ship. But that would be this fleet. The squadrons probably wouldn't add up correctly, but I'm not the point on each of the ships. So obviously you would fill in the rest of the ships with landing craft shuttles. But that's it for this video. I was trying to make it 10 minutes, but it's going to be a little bit longer. But that's it for this video. I will have the second one updated here shortly. And like, subscribe, and comment. Thanks for watching.